The information provided in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial, legal, or professional academic advising. Scholarship availability, eligibility requirements, and deadlines are subject to change at the discretion of the awarding organizations. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information based on historical trends and case studies, we cannot ensure that every viewer will secure funding. It is essential that you conduct your own due diligence, verify all information with official college financial aid offices, and protect your personal information from potential phishing or fraudulent sites. Proceed with caution and treat the scholarship application process as a professional endeavor. Right now, billions of dollars in private scholarship money go completely unclaimed every single year, while the average American student is walking across the graduation stage carrying over $37,000 in debt. We have been conditioned to believe that the only way to afford a top-tier education in the United States is to either be born into a wealthy family, possess the athletic prowess of an Olympian, or resign yourself to decades of high-interest loan payments. That narrative is not just discouraging, it is factually incomplete. The reality is that there is a massive, decentralized ecosystem of funding waiting for students who understand how to navigate the digital landscape of merit-based and need-based aid. But here is the problem. The majority of students are looking in the exact same three places, competing against millions of other applicants for the same high-profile awards, while the most accessible, high-value opportunities remain hidden behind obscure search filters and niche databases. If you are tired of the gatekeeping and you are ready to treat your college funding like a high-stakes investigation, then this masterclass is the only roadmap you will ever need. By the end of this series, you will have moved past the surface-level Google searches and mastered the specific platforms that professional educational consultants use to shave tens of thousands of dollars off the cost of attendance. The crisis of college affordability in the United States has reached a breaking point, but for the proactive student, this crisis creates a unique window of opportunity. To understand why these websites are so vital, we first have to look at the data surrounding the rising cost of tuition. Since 1980, the cost of college has increased by nearly 169%, far outstripping the growth of wages or even general inflation. This means that the traditional methods of working your way through school are statistically impossible for the vast majority of the population. However, during this same period, the number of private foundations, corporate social responsibility programs, and community organizations offering financial support has exploded. The challenge is no longer a lack of funds, it is a massive information gap. Most students stop their search after the first page of results, effectively leaving money on the table that could have covered their housing, textbooks, or entire tuition bills. We are going to bridge that gap today by diving into the architecture of the scholarship search engine. This is not just a list of URLs. It is a strategic framework for identifying which platforms serve your specific profile. Are you a first-generation student? Are you pursuing a highly specialized STEM field? Are you a member of a marginalized community or a specific religious organization? Every one of these identifiers is a key that unlocks a different vault of funding. We will begin by deconstructing the big three legacy platforms, sites like FastWeb and scholarships.com, but we will quickly move into the more sophisticated, AI-driven tools and niche databases that the general public often overlooks. We will look at how to use these sites to build a scholarship funnel, a systematic approach to applications that prioritizes high-probability wins over lottery-style, national competitions. Consider the case study of a typical high school senior. They might apply for the Coca-Cola Scholars Program or the Gates Scholarship. These are prestigious, yes, but the odds of selection are often lower than the admission rate at Harvard. Meanwhile, a local community foundation might have a $5,000 award for students interested in urban planning, and because the SEO on their website is poor, they only receive 12 applications. This is where the right search strategy becomes a game changer. We are going to show you how to find those low-competition pockets of capital. We will examine how to use Boolean search parameters within scholarship databases to filter out the noise and find the awards that align perfectly with your unique history and future goals. The problem we are solving today is the search fatigue that leads to burnout. Most students spend 10 hours searching and 1 hour applying. We are going to flip that ratio. By mastering these websites, you will spend 1 hour identifying 20 high-value targets and 10 hours crafting winning essays. We will explore the technical nuances of profile creation, explaining why the way you fill out your interest section can either hide you from or expose you to thousands of dollars in potential outcomes. We will even touch upon the security aspect, how to distinguish a legitimate scholarship database from a data mining operation designed to sell your lead information to private loan companies. This is part 1 of a 10-part deep dive. We are starting with the foundation of your digital toolkit. If you have ever felt like the system was rigged against you, or that your dream school was a financial impossibility, I want you to set those feelings aside for the next hour. Wealthy families hire consultants for thousands of dollars to find this information. We are democratizing that knowledge right now. You are about to learn how to treat the scholarship search like a professional researcher, leveraging the most powerful databases on the internet to build a portfolio of aid that follows historical trends of success. Think about the compounding interest of a student loan. A $20,000 loan at a 6% interest rate doesn't just cost $20,000. It costs nearly $30,000 over a 10-year repayment period. Every scholarship dollar you find today is effectively worth 1.5 times its face value when you factor in the interest you are avoiding. This is the highest leverage work you can do as a student. If you spend 40 hours this month finding and winning just one $2,000 scholarship, you have effectively earned $50 an hour tax-free. That is a higher wage than many entry-level professional jobs. In the sections to follow, we will break down the user interfaces of the top 10 platforms, revealing the hidden filters that most people miss. We will provide step-by-step instructions on how to set up automated alerts so that the scholarships find you while you sleep. We will analyze the data on which months are the Goldilocks zones for applications and which websites dominate those specific windows. This is not a summary. This is a masterclass in financial self-defense. Grab a notebook, clear your tabs, and prepare to change the trajectory of your financial future. The journey from "how will I pay for this" to "my tuition is covered" starts with the very first website we are about to reveal. We are going deep into the mechanics of the search, the psychology of the providers, and the technical shortcuts that will give you a mathematical edge over every other applicant in the country. Let's begin the deep dive into the premier digital repositories of American collegiate funding. The logic of the scholarship search is simple, but the execution is where most students fail. To truly master this landscape, you must treat these websites not as lists, but as sophisticated search engines that require precise inputs to yield high-value outputs. We are going to start with the foundational giant of the industry, scholarships.com. Imagine a high school junior in 2026 named Jordan living in a mid-sized city in Ohio. Jordan has a 3.4 GPA, plays the cello, and wants to study environmental engineering. If Jordan simply types scholarships for college into a general search engine, they will be met with millions of results, half of which are outdated or irrelevant. However, when Jordan creates a profile on scholarships.com, they are tapping into a database that has been refined for over 2 decades. The technical advantage of scholarships.com lies in its matching algorithm. When you fill out your profile, the site asks for your GPA, your standardized test scores, your intended major, and even your parents' military or union affiliations. This is where the step-by-step strategy begins. You do not just fill out the mandatory fields. You fill out every single optional field, including your hobbies, your volunteer history, and your specific ethnic or religious background. In 2026, the data shows that the more specific your profile, the more the algorithm can filter out the high-competition national awards and surface the niche opportunities. For example, because Jordan mentioned playing the cello and a commitment to environmental causes, the platform might surface the $2,500 Music and Nature grant that only receives 50 applications a year. Historical trends suggest that students who spend an extra 30 minutes perfecting their profile see a 40% increase in relevant matches compared to those who skip the optional questions. Next, we must analyze the powerhouse known as FastWeb. FastWeb is often cited as the first major scholarship database, and its longevity is its greatest strength. It currently hosts over 1.5 million scholarship opportunities worth billions of dollars. But here is the professional secret to using FastWeb effectively: the Scholarship Success Sweepstakes and the automated alert system. For a student like Alex, a college sophomore in California struggling with rising housing costs, FastWeb acts as a digital assistant. Alex sets up specific keyword alerts for California residency and STEM-focused local grants. The step-by-step process on FastWeb involves navigating the My Matches tab daily. In 2026, FastWeb has integrated more robust vetting processes to ensure that every listing is legitimate, which is crucial in an era of increased digital fraud. Case studies of successful recipients often point to the deadline notifications as their most used feature. By syncing these deadlines with the digital calendar, Alex ensures they never miss a window of opportunity. FastWeb also offers a unique feature where they list part-time jobs and internships that offer tuition assistance programs. This is a critical data point. Many students overlook the fact that companies like Starbucks, UPS, and Amazon offer thousands of dollars in annual education benefits that function exactly like scholarships. On FastWeb, these are categorized alongside traditional grants, providing a holistic view of how to fund your degree. Moving into the modern era of scholarship platforms, we have to discuss bold.org. This platform has revolutionized the user experience by moving away from the cluttered layouts of the early 2000s and adopting a sleek, social media-style interface. Bold.org is unique because it hosts exclusive scholarships that are only available on their platform. These are often funded by individual donors, influencers, or small businesses who want to support specific causes. Imagine a student named Mia who has a passion for digital art. On bold.org, she might find the $1,000 Digital Creator Award funded by a popular YouTube animator. The strategy for bold.org is centered around the Bold profile. Unlike other sites where you just fill out a form, bold.org allows you to build a portfolio. You can link your social media, upload examples of your work, and write a bio that captures your personal story. In 2026, the Be Bold No Essay Scholarship is a prime example of their philosophy. It is awarded to the student with the most earnest and determined profile, not necessarily the one with the highest GPA. To win here, you must treat your profile like a LinkedIn page for students. Step 1 is choosing a professional headshot. Step 2 is writing a bio that uses active verbs and highlights your specific impact in your community. Step 3 is staying active on the platform to earn points that can unlock higher value scholarships. Data from recent years indicates that students who update their Bold profile monthly are 3 times more likely to be selected for donor-funded awards. We also have to address a major shift in the 2026 landscape, the closing of Going Merry. For years, Going Merry was a favorite because it allowed for bundled applications where you could apply to multiple scholarships with one essay. However, as of March 2026, the platform is transitioning its services. This creates a vacuum that savvy students are filling with Big Future by the College Board. If you have taken the SAT or the SAT, you already have an account. Big Future has become the most integrated tool for U.S. students because it links your academic data directly to your scholarship search. The College Board Opportunity Scholarships on Big Future are a masterclass in incentivized planning. They do not just reward the final result, they reward the process. By completing steps like building a college list, practicing on Khan Academy, and filing the FAFSA, you are automatically entered into drawings for scholarships ranging from $500 to $40,000. In 2026, the deadline for seniors to complete these steps is February 28th, making it a critical early season priority. The step-by-step details here are simple. Log into your Big Future dashboard, link your account to your FAFSA submission status, and ensure your college list has at least 6 schools. Historical data shows that students from families earning less than $60,000 a year have an even higher mathematical chance of winning these specific awards, as the College Board reserves half of the $40,000 scholarships for this demographic. Now imagine if you could combine the database depth of scholarships.com, the legacy reliability of FastWeb, the exclusive community of bold.org, and the systematic rewards of Big Future. That is what a professional scholarship hunter does. They don't pick one site, they build an ecosystem. They use a dedicated email address, something like jordanscholarships2026@gmail.com, to keep all their accounts organized and prevent their primary inbox from being overwhelmed. This allows them to monitor for the gold standard notification, the interview request, or the award letter. But even with these powerful tools, there is a hidden layer to the scholarship world that most students never see. While these websites are excellent for finding national and regional awards, there is a specific way to use them to uncover the ultra-local scholarships that are often tucked away in the shadows of the internet. These are the awards given by your local Rotary Club, the Elks Lodge, or your town's small business association. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to reveal the advanced search strings and the obscure government databases that allow you to bypass the competition entirely. We will look at how to find the money that isn't even listed on the major sites yet. The question isn't whether the money exists. The question is whether you have the technical skill to find it before the deadline passes. We have just scratched the surface of the primary repositories, but there is a specific category of niche websites that cater to very narrow demographics, websites that only the top 1% of scholarship winners even know about. Do you know where to find the funding specifically for students who are the first in their family to go to college, or those who are pursuing careers in industries that didn't even exist 5 years ago? We are going to dive into the specialized portals for minority students, trade schools, and graduate-level funding that can be secured while you are still in high school. The deeper we go, the less competition you will face. We are moving from the public squares into the private vaults. Are you ready to see where the real heavy-duty funding is hidden? In Part 3, we are going to break down the stealth search strategy. I will show you how to use professional research tools to find scholarships that don't have a website, including the specific government portals that manage billions in state-level grants. We will also discuss the scholarship displacement trap, a critical financial hurdle that can actually cost you money if you aren't careful. If you think finding the money is the hard part, wait until you see how to keep it. The masterclass continues in the next segment. To navigate the landscape of high-value collegiate funding in 2026, you must understand a phenomenon known as scholarship displacement. This is a practice where a college reduces its own institutional financial aid because a student has won an outside private scholarship. Imagine a student named Marcus from Atlanta who works tirelessly to win a $5,000 award from a local foundation. When Marcus reports this win to his university, the school might decrease his institutional grant by that same $5,000. In this scenario, Marcus has put in dozens of hours of work, but his out-of-pocket cost remains exactly the same. The university essentially harvests the private donor's money to balance their own budget. To avoid this, the first website you must master is the official financial aid policy page of every college on your list. Step 1 is a deep dive into the school's external scholarship policy. You are looking for specific language regarding how they treat outside awards. Some institutions, like those in states that have passed anti-displacement laws such as Maryland or New Jersey, have more favorable historical trends for students. In 2026, more states are considering similar legislation, but for now, you must be your own advocate. If a school's website states that outside aid is applied first to the self-help portion of your financial aid package, meaning your student loans or work-study requirements, that is a massive win. This means the scholarship actually reduces your future debt or the hours you have to work in the dining hall, rather than cutting into the free money the school was already giving you. Marcus could have saved himself significant frustration by checking this policy first and prioritizing schools that allow scholarships to stack on top of institutional aid. Once you have secured your perimeter against displacement, we move into the stealth search phase using a tool that most students ignore because it looks like a government record from the 90s, the Career One-Stop Scholarship Finder. This site is sponsored by the United States Department of Labor. Because it is a federal database, it is not trying to sell you a credit card or harvest your data for a mailing list. It is a pure high-fidelity data repository. In 2026, the database tracks over 9,000 individual scholarships, fellowships, and grants. The technical edge here is the filter for award type and location. While the big commercial sites focus on national brands, Career One Stop excels at identifying state-based professional associations. For example, a student named Elena who wants to study civil engineering can filter for scholarships specifically for residents of Illinois pursuing engineering. This might surface an award from the Illinois Society of Professional Engineers that doesn't appear on the major national apps. Step by step, you should navigate to the scholarship search tool on Career One Stop, select your current level of education, and most importantly, use the affiliated with filter. This allows you to check for awards related to your parents' employers or your own military service history. Historical trends show that these employer-based awards often have a much higher selection rate because the applicant pool is restricted to a very specific group of people. Beyond the Department of Labor, we have to look at the specialized powerhouse of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, or HSF. For the 2026 to 2027 academic year, HSF continues to be the premier resource for Hispanic American students, but many applicants fail because they don't understand the timeline. HSF is not just a website, it is an ecosystem. When you create a profile on hsf.net, you are applying for a suite of services including mentorship, leadership development, and career coaching, in addition to the actual funding. The case study of a student like Sophia demonstrates the power of this platform. Sophia didn't just get a $3,000 scholarship. She gained access to a national network of corporate partners who prioritize HSF scholars for internships. The step-by-step requirement for HSF is rigorous. You need to prepare your transcripts, a copy of your FAFSA submission summary, and a detailed list of extracurricular activities months before the deadline, which typically falls in mid-February. In 2026, the application requires a high level of digital literacy, as you must upload verified documents through their secure portal. The data suggests that students who complete the HSF profile fully, including the optional video essay component, have a significantly higher probability of reaching the finalist stage. This is a recurring theme in the 2026 scholarship market. The platforms are moving away from simple text boxes and toward holistic, multimedia profiles that allow donors to see the person behind the GPA. We then transition to a niche but incredibly high-value site, the American Indian College Fund. For students with tribal affiliation, this is the gold standard. Much like HSF, this organization manages hundreds of different individual scholarships under one umbrella. The historical data indicates that these awards are underutilized because students often assume they don't meet the specific tribal requirements. However, many of the grants on this site are open to any student who is a member or a descendant of a federally recognized or state-recognized tribe. If you are a student named Kai with ancestry from a specific nation, your first step is to secure your tribal enrollment or descendancy documentation. In 2026, the digital application for the Full Circle Scholarship on their site is a one-stop shop that matches you with dozens of specific opportunities. Now, imagine if you are a student who doesn't fit into a specific ethnic or professional category yet. This is where you leverage the power of niche industry databases like the Society of Women Engineers or the American Chemical Society. These organizations have a vested interest in the future of their professions. For a student named David who is obsessed with chemistry, the ACS website offers the Scholars Program, which provides up to $5,000 per year. The secret here is that these websites often have their own internal job boards and student chapters. By joining the student chapter of a professional organization listed on these sites, David isn't just an applicant. He is a member of the community. Historical trends show that professional societies are much more likely to fund students who show an active interest in the field through membership or participation in regional conferences. The final piece of this stealth search involves the power of the Google News search tool, repurposed for scholarship hunting. Most students search for scholarships. A professional searches for scholarship winners. By searching for terms like 2025 scholarship recipient or local foundation award winner in your specific city or county, you find the names of the organizations that actually cut checks last year. This leads you to the small, often poorly indexed websites of community foundations. These are the ultimate low competition targets. Case studies of successful students in 2026 frequently mention that their largest award didn't come from a big database, but from a local Lions Club or a regional credit union that they found by looking at who won the award the year before. Step by step, you should set a Google alert for your town's name plus the word scholarship. This ensures that the moment a local business or nonprofit announces a new funding opportunity in the local digital newspaper, you are the first to know. In the high-stakes environment of 2026, being the first to apply to a small local grant can be the difference between a full ride and a mountain of debt. But finding these local gems is only half the battle. Once you find them, you have to convince a board of directors that you are the best investment they can make with their limited funds. In the next part of this deep dive, we are going to look at the specific websites that help you craft the perfect essay. We will discuss the AI-driven tools that can help you brainstorm your personal narrative without violating academic integrity, and the databases where you can read past winning essays to understand the psychology of scholarship committees. We will also address the controversial world of no-essay scholarships and show you the data on which ones are legitimate opportunities and which ones are simply marketing traps. Do you know the difference between a sweepstakes and a scholarship? You are about to find out exactly how to tell them apart, so you never waste another minute on a dead-end application. The masterclass is just getting started. The line between a scholarship and a sweepstakes has become increasingly blurred in the 2026 digital landscape, but the difference in your potential outcomes is massive. A scholarship is a merit-based or need-based grant that requires an assessment of your character, academics, or talent. A sweepstakes is a game of chance often used as a lead generation tool for marketing companies. If you see a website offering a $2,000 scholarship that only requires you to enter your name, email, and phone number with zero essay or transcript required, you are likely looking at a sweepstakes. While these are not inherently malicious, the statistical probability of winning is roughly the same as winning a small-town lottery. In contrast, merit-based scholarships that require effort have a much smaller, more qualified applicant pool, drastically improving your historical trends of success. To navigate this, you must master the use of the College Board's Big Future Scholarship Search, alongside the specialized vetting tool, known as the Better Business Bureau or BBB. Imagine a student named Chloe from Seattle, who finds a suspicious-looking scholarship on a random pop-up ad. Instead of entering her sensitive data, Chloe performs a 3-step verification process. Step 1. She checks if the organization is listed on Big Future, or the U.S. Department of Labor's Career One-Stop. These federal and institutional databases pre-vet their listings. Step 2. She searches for the organization on the BBB website to see if there are complaints about data selling or application fees. A legitimate scholarship will never ask you to pay money to apply. Any site asking for a processing fee or a redemption fee is a red flag. Step 3. She looks for a physical address and a privacy policy on the scholarship's website. In 2026, data privacy is paramount, and legitimate foundations are transparent about how they handle your information. Once you have filtered out the noise, you need to focus on the websites that actually help you win the legitimate awards you have found. This brings us to the most underrated category of scholarship websites: the winning essay repositories. Sites like College Essay Guy and the 73rd Street Scholarship Archive offer a goldmine of historical data. They don't just give you tips, they provide full-text examples of essays that actually secured funding in previous years. Consider a case study of a student named Liam who was applying for the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation Scholarship, which can provide up to $55,000 a year. Liam had the grades, but he didn't know how to frame his personal struggle with a learning disability without sounding like he was asking for pity. By visiting these essay repositories, Liam was able to analyze how past winners framed their challenges as a source of strength and resilience. He learned the show don't tell technique. Instead of saying he is hardworking, he described the specific 4 a.m. routine he maintained to balance his studies with a part-time job. The step-by-step process for using these repositories effectively involves a technique called structural reverse engineering. You take a winning essay from a site like Jumbo or Prep Scholar, and you strip away the personal details to see the underlying skeleton. Did they start with a hook? Did they pivot to their academic goals in paragraph 3? Did they conclude with a vision of how they will give back to the community? By understanding the architecture of a winning narrative, you can build your own story on a proven foundation. In 2026, the scholarship committees are increasingly looking for authentic voice, meaning they want to feel the person behind the paper. These essay sites teach you how to achieve that without crossing the line into unprofessionalism. Now, let's talk about the emergence of AI-assisted brainstorming portals. It is 2026, and the use of large language models is a reality in every classroom. However, there is a massive trap here. If you use a tool to generate your entire essay, you risk being disqualified by AI detection software that almost every major scholarship committee now employs. Instead, you should use websites like Quillbot or specific university-affiliated writing centers that offer AI-driven outlining. The goal is to use the tool for brainstorming and structure, not for the final prose. Imagine if you have 5 different scholarships to apply for, each with a slightly different prompt. A professional approach involves using a tool like ChatGPT or Gemini to help you crosswalk your experiences. You can input your resume in the 5 prompts and ask the tool to identify which of your life experiences best fits each specific prompt. This ensures you aren't repeating the same story 5 times, but are instead presenting a multifaceted view of your character across different applications. This strategy significantly increases your potential outcomes by ensuring a perfect prompt-to-story fit. Furthermore, we must address the review and feedback websites. Before you hit submit on any high-value scholarship, you need a second pair of eyes. If you don't have access to a private college counselor, websites like Perceptive or the subreddit Scholarship Cloud allow you to engage in peer review cycles. In these communities, you can exchange your essay with other students for critique. The data from 2025 case studies suggest that essays that went through at least 3 rounds of peer or professional review had a 60% higher success rate than those submitted as first or second drafts. The step-by-step details here are simple. Upload your draft, provide constructive feedback to 2 other students, and use the feedback you receive to polish your hook and your impact statement. Another critical resource in 2026 is the financial aid estimator tools provided by the Department of Education. While not a scholarship site in the traditional sense, the Federal Student Aid (FSA) estimator is the website that tells you exactly what your starting point is. You cannot build a scholarship strategy without knowing your student aid index or SAI. By entering your family's tax data from the 2024 tax year into the 2026 to 2027 estimator, you get a clear picture of how much gap you need to fill. If your SAI is 0, you are looking for scholarships to cover the remaining cost of attendance beyond the Pell Grant. If your SAI is high, you are pivoting your search almost exclusively to merit-based websites like Meritmore, which tracks which colleges give the most institutional merit aid based on your specific GPA and test scores. Meritmore is a game changer because it allows you to compare the discount rate of different universities. Historically, some schools are much more generous with their own funds than others. If you see that University A has a historical trend of giving $20,000 merit scholarships to students with a 3.8 GPA, while University B only gives $5,000 for the same stats, your choice of where to apply becomes a data-driven financial decision. Step 1 on Meritmore. Enter your stats. Step 2, filter by automatic merit aid. Step 3, build your college list based on the schools that are most likely to offer you the most internal scholarship money before you even look for external ones. The complexity of these websites might seem overwhelming, but remember the goal. We are moving from guessing to calculating. We have looked at how to vet the sites, how to find the winning stories, and how to use data to pick the right schools. But there is one category of website we haven't touched yet, and it is the most competitive and lucrative of them all. These are the full ride aggregators, the sites that list the scholarships that cover not just tuition, but room, board, travel, and even a monthly stipend. These are the holy grail of the scholarship world. Do you know which specific portal tracks every single full ride scholarship in the United States? Do you know the difference between a full tuition and a full ride award? And which website clarifies this for you? In Part 5, we are going to dive into the elite databases for the most prestigious awards in the country. We will look at the specific requirements for the Robertson, the Moorhead-Cain, and the QuestBridge program. If you are a high-achieving student from a low-income background, the next segment could literally be worth over $300,000 to your family. We are moving into the big leagues of collegiate funding. The masterclass continues. The distinction between a full tuition scholarship and a full ride scholarship is the difference between having your classes paid for and having your entire life paid for while you are in school. In 2026, the average cost of room and board at a public four-year university has climbed to nearly $13,000 per year, while private institutions often exceed $17,000. If you win a full tuition award, you are still on the hook for those housing and meal costs, which can result in over $60,000 of debt by graduation. A full ride scholarship, however, covers tuition, fees, room, board, and often includes stipends for books, travel, and personal expenses. To find these rare opportunities, you must move beyond general databases and into the elite institutional and private portals designed for the top tier of applicants. We begin with the most powerful portal for high-achieving students from low-income backgrounds, QuestBridge. Imagine a student named Carlos from a rural town in Texas. Carlos has a 4.0 GPA and high SAT scores, but his family earns less than $65,000 a year. For a student like Carlos, the QuestBridge National College Match is not just a scholarship. It is a gateway to over 50 of the most prestigious universities in the United States, including Ivy League schools like Yale and Princeton. The QuestBridge website serves as a centralized application system that allows you to rank up to 15 college partners. If you are matched, you receive a 4-year scholarship that covers the full cost of attendance with no parental contribution and no student loans. The step-by-step process for QuestBridge in 2026 is rigorous and starts early. For high school juniors, the College Prep Scholars Program application deadline is March 24, 2026. This is a crucial pre-round that identifies promising candidates before their senior year. If you are a senior, the National College Match application opens in late summer and is due by September 30th. The technical nuance here is the match rankings form. You must strategically rank schools that are a financial fit and an academic fit. Historical trends show that students who participate in the QuestBridge regular decision cycle, after not matching, still have a significantly higher probability of receiving generous financial aid packages compared to the general applicant pool. This site is the gold standard for social mobility in American higher education. Next, we look at the Robertson Scholars Leadership Program, a unique collaboration between Duke University and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. This is one of the few merit scholarships in the country that allows you to essentially attend 2 world-class universities at once. As a Robertson Scholar, You matriculate at one school but have full access to the classes and resources of both. The program pays for 8 semesters of full tuition, room and board, and most mandatory fees. But the real data-driven value lies in the 3 funded summer experiences. These are not just internships, they are fully funded global leadership projects. To apply for the Robertson, you must navigate their dedicated website, which has a separate application from the standard university admissions process. The deadline for the 2026 to 2027 academic year is January 15, 2026. Step 1 is the online application, which requires 2 specific 500-word statements. One outlining where you see yourself in 10 years and another describing your leadership philosophy. Step 2 involves a recommendation from a teacher who can specifically speak to your moral force of character. Case studies of successful Robertson scholars show that the committee prioritizes transformational potential over raw test scores. They want to see that you are an adventurer who is willing to step outside your comfort zone, which is why the program requires you to spend a semester living on the sister campus during your sophomore year. In the same region, we find the Morehead-Cain Scholarship at UNC Chapel Hill. This was the first merit scholarship program in the United States, and it remains one of the most competitive. The Morehead-Cain website outlines their 4 pillars: leadership, character, scholarship, and physical vigor. This last pillar is unique. They want students who demonstrate an active, energetic approach to life. In 2026, the selection process remains highly structured. If you attend a nominating school in North Carolina or one of their global partner schools, you must be nominated by your faculty. If you are an out-of-state or international student, you can be referred through the UNC Office of Undergraduate Admissions after applying early action. The step-by-step for Morehead-Cain involves a multi-stage interview process. If you reach the finalist stage in early 2026, you are invited to a selection weekend in Chapel Hill. The data shows that the foundation looks for originality. Students who haven't just followed a checklist of extracurriculars, but have started something new or solved a specific community problem. Like the Robertson, the Morehead-Cain provides a full ride plus 4 years of summer discovery, experiences that can take you to every continent on Earth. Imagine if your college experience included a summer of wilderness leadership in the Rockies followed by a summer of public policy research in London, all fully funded. This is the level of support these elite portals provide. For those looking for a private foundation award that isn't tied to a specific university, the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation is the ultimate target. Their college scholarship program is designed for high-achieving seniors with financial need. In 2026, this award provides up to $55,000 per year, which can be used at any accredited 4-year college in the United States. Because it is last dollar funding, it is designed to bridge the gap between other financial aid and the total cost of attendance, including living expenses. The Jack Kent Cooke website is a masterclass in transparent application guidance. They provide detailed rubrics on how they evaluate persistence and service to others. Step by step, you should use their application checklist to ensure you have your FAFSA, CSS profile, and academic recommendations ready by their November deadline. There is also the Flynn Scholarship, which is a state-specific full ride for Arizona residents. This highlights a critical strategy, looking for state-level prestige scholarships. Many states have their own versions of the Flynn, such as the Stamp Scholars Program, which operates at multiple partner universities across the country. The Stamp Scholars website is a vital resource because it maps out exactly which universities, from Georgia Tech to the University of Oregon, offer these massive awards. Each partner school has its own application process, but the common thread is a focus on innovation. Now imagine if you could track the deadlines for all of these elite awards in one place. Most students fail because they miss the early deadlines of August, September, and October. By the time they start thinking about scholarships in January, the full rides are often already gone. We have covered the portals for the biggest checks in the country, but there is a specific technical skill you need to master to ensure your application actually gets read by these elite committees. Do you know how to bypass the automated filters that these high-traffic websites use to weed out 80% of applicants before a human even sees the file? Do you know the specific keywords that 2026 scholarship committees are looking for in the impact section of your profile? In Part 6, we are going to dive into the optimization phase. I will show you the specific websites that analyze your digital footprint and help you clean up your online presence to ensure you pass the character check that every full-ride committee performs. We will also look at the specialized tools for international students looking for full funding in the U.S. the stakes are getting higher. The masterclass continues in the next segment. The transition from being a scholarship seeker to a scholarship winner in 2026 requires more than just a high GPA and a compelling essay. It requires a meticulous optimization of your digital identity. We are living in an era where scholarship committees, particularly those managing high-value full-ride awards, have integrated social media screening into their standard operating procedures. Recent data from 2025 and early 2026 indicates that approximately 40% of admissions and scholarship officers now check an applicant's social media presence to verify their character and consistency. This is not about being a perfect person. It is about ensuring that the leader you describe in your application matches the person who exists in the public digital square. Imagine a student named Sarah from Chicago. Sarah has a stellar application for a prestigious leadership scholarship. Her essays speak of inclusivity, community service, and professional ambition. However, a quick search of her digital footprint reveals a series of inflammatory comments on a public forum from 3 years ago and several public videos that contradict the professional image she presented in her interview. In the high-stakes world of 2026, this is known as an invisible disqualification. Sarah will never receive a rejection letter citing her social media. She will simply be moved to the bottom of the pile, and the award will go to a candidate with a more cohesive brand. To avoid this, your first stop is not a scholarship database, but a search engine audit of your own name. Step 1. Open an incognito window and search for your name in quotation marks followed by your city and school. You are looking for what a committee member will see in the first 3 pages of results. If you find outdated photos or old accounts that no longer represent who you are, use websites like Brand Yourself or the privacy tools on individual platforms to deactivate or hide those traces. Step 2. Audit your tagged photos. Beyond private databases, international students must leverage the official government resources provided by Education USA. This is a U.S. Department of State network with over 400 advising centers worldwide. Their website, educationusa.state.gov, is the most reliable source for finding institutional excellence scholarships. These are awards given directly by U.S. colleges to international students based on academic merit. In 2026, many mid-tier U.S. universities are aggressively recruiting international talent by offering automatic merit aid that can cover up to 50% of tuition. The strategy here is to use the Education USA Financial Aid tab to identify which schools have a historical trend of high percentage international aid. For the international student, the funding journey is also inextricably linked to testing and visas. This is where websites like Magoosh become essential financial tools. While Magoosh is primarily known for test prep, in 2026, it serves as a critical bridge to funding. High scores on the TOEFL, IELTS, or SAT are the primary filters that U.S. universities use to distribute international merit aid. A student who uses Magoosh to increase their SAT score by 200 points isn't just getting into a better school. They are moving themselves into a different aid bracket, where they might qualify for an additional $15,000 in annual institutional grants. Case studies of international applicants show that every $100 spent on professional test prep has a potential return on investment of over $10,000 in scholarship aid. Furthermore, we must address the visa navigator tools on these sites. You cannot receive most U.S. scholarships if you do not have a valid F1 visa. Websites like the Bureau of Consular Affairs provide the necessary data to ensure your proof of funds is accurate. Many students make the mistake of winning a scholarship, but losing their visa because their financial documentation was incomplete. The step-by-step detail here is to use the SEVIS tracking tools and ensure your scholarship award letters are formatted exactly as the U.S. Embassy requires. As we move deeper into this masterclass, we are shifting from the where to the how. You now have the databases for national awards, the portals for full rides, and the specialized tools for international applicants. You have audited your digital footprint and cleaned up your online presence. But there is one final technical hurdle that stops most students in their tracks: the algorithm itself. Do you know why some students with lower GPAs consistently beat out students with higher marks? It comes down to keyword optimization. In 2026, many of the websites we have discussed use automated screening software to scan your essays and profile descriptions before a human ever reads them. If your application doesn't contain the specific linguistic triggers the committee is looking for, it might be discarded by a machine. In Part 7, we are going to pull back the curtain on the scholarship SEO. I will show you the specific websites that analyze scholarship prompts to find the hidden keywords you must include in your responses. We will also discuss the high-tech tools for resume parsing that ensure your extracurricular list is formatted for maximum impact. If you want to stop fighting the algorithm and start using it to your advantage, the next segment is mandatory viewing. We are moving into the mechanics of the winning application. The masterclass continues. The concept of the algorithm is often misunderstood as a digital barrier designed to keep students out, but in the scholarship landscape of 2026, the algorithm is actually your most predictable ally if you know how to speak its language. Large-scale scholarship providers, particularly those receiving tens of thousands of applications like the Gates Scholarship or the Coca-Cola Scholars Program, utilize applicant tracking systems or ATS. These systems are programmed to scan your profile, your resume, and even your essays for specific linguistic markers that correlate with their institutional values. If your application lacks these triggers, it may never reach a human reviewer, regardless of how moving your story might be. This is where scholarship search engine optimization, or scholarship SEO, becomes the deciding factor in your potential outcomes. To master this, you must first utilize websites like JobsCan or Resume Worded. While these are traditionally marketed as career tools, they are essential for the 2026 scholarship hunter. These platforms allow you to upload the scholarship's mission statement or prompt on one side and your essay or resume on the other. The software then generates a match rate based on keyword density and thematic alignment. Imagine a student named Benjamin from Michigan, who is applying for a community-based leadership award. The scholarship description uses words like civic engagement, measurable impact, and collaborative problem solving. If Benjamin's essay only uses generic terms like helped people or worked hard, the ATS will assign him a low match score. However, by using a tool like Resume Worded, Benjamin can identify that he needs to replace helped people with initiated a peer-to-peer tutoring network that served 400 students. This shift from passive to active, impact-oriented language is what moves an application from the digital slush pile to the finalist desk. The step-by-step process for optimizing your scholarship resume involves 3 distinct layers. First, you must use a standard machine-readable format. This means avoiding complex graphics, columns, or unconventional fonts that can confuse an ATS scanner. Websites like Canva have beautiful templates, but for high-stakes scholarship applications in 2026, a clean single-column Google Doc or Word file exported as a PDF is the gold standard for compatibility. Second, you must front-load your most relevant keywords. If you are applying for a STEM scholarship, your technical skills and specific project outcomes should be in the top third of the page. Third, you must quantify your achievements. Historical trends show that committees are significantly more impressed by numbers than by adjectives. Instead of saying you were a captain of the debate team, write, led a 30-member debate team to 3 regional championships and secured $4,000 in local sponsorships. Now, let's look at the power of the word cloud generator websites. This is a simple but incredibly effective hack. Take the text from the last 5 years of a foundation's annual report or their social media feed and paste it into a word cloud tool. The words that appear the largest are the ones the organization values most. If you are applying for a scholarship from the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, you might see words like community, resilience, and family appearing prominently. When you write your essay, these shouldn't just be words you mention. They should be the pillars of your narrative. By mirroring the organization's own vocabulary, you are subconsciously signaling to the reviewers that you are an ideal cultural fit for their mission. We also have to discuss the emergence of specialized websites like Grammarly and Hemingway Editor as strategic, not just grammatical tools. In 2026, the Hemingway Editor is particularly vital because it measures the readability of your text. Scholarship committees often have to read hundreds of essays in a single sitting. If your writing is dense, convoluted, and filled with passive voice, they will tire of reading it. The Hemingway tool helps you aim for a grade 9 or grade 10 readability level, which is the sweet spot for clear, impactful communication. It highlights sentences that are too long and identifies unnecessary adverbs. A student named Maya used this tool to refine her 500-word statement for the Elks National Foundation Most Valuable Student Scholarship. By simplifying her prose and making her call to action clearer, she ensured that the reader stayed engaged until the final sentence. Beyond the text, there is the technical aspect of the digital recommendation. Many modern scholarship websites in 2026 have moved away from traditional letters and toward evaluator portals. When you enter your teacher's email address on a site like Common App or a private scholarship portal, They are often sent a link to a digital form with specific rubrics. This is a critical data point. You need to help your recommenders help you. Websites like Recommendation Letter Guide provide templates that you can give to your teachers to remind them of your specific accomplishments. If you provide your teacher with a brag sheet that includes the specific keywords you are targeting, their digital evaluation will align perfectly with your self-description, creating a unified and highly credible application profile. Consider the case study of a student named Elijah who was a finalist for a high-value corporate scholarship from a major tech firm. The firm's automated system looked for a match between the student's stated goals and the teacher's assessment of their technical curiosity. Because Elijah had shared his keyword strategy with his computer science teacher, the teacher's digital evaluation used the exact phrase innate technical curiosity, which triggered a high match alert in the firm's selection software. This alignment is not about being dishonest. It is about providing a clear, consistent data set for the evaluators to analyze. Imagine if you could see the back end of these scholarship websites to understand exactly what they see when you hit submit. While we can't hack the systems, we can use the sample application pages that many foundations provide. For example, the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation website has a section dedicated to what we look for. They break down their evaluation into 5 specific categories: academic ability, persistence, leadership, and service to others. A professional scholarship hunter creates a spreadsheet with these 4 headers and maps every sentence of their application to one of those categories. If a sentence doesn't serve one of those 4 goals, it is deleted. This is the level of discipline required to win in the most competitive year for scholarship aid on record. But what happens when you do everything right and you still receive a rejection? Or, even more complex, what happens when you win so many scholarships that you actually create a tax liability for yourself? Yes, it is 2026, and the Internal Revenue Service has specific rules about how scholarship money can be spent. If you use your funds for anything other than tuition, books, and required fees, such as room, board, or a personal laptop, that money may be considered taxable income. Do you know how to navigate the tax websites to ensure you don't lose 20% of your hard-earned scholarship money to the government? Do you know the specific IRS forms that scholarship winners must file to protect their awards? In Part 8, we are going to dive into the financial management of your winnings. We will look at the websites that help you track your spending, manage your tax obligations, and negotiate with your university's financial aid office to ensure they don't take your money away. We are moving from winning the money to keeping the money. The masterclass is reaching its most critical phase. The moment that first scholarship check arrives in the mail or appears as a credit on your student portal is a moment of pure triumph. But in 2026, it is also the moment your role shifts from an applicant to a financial manager. One of the most overlooked aspects of the scholarship process is the interaction between your private winnings and the Internal Revenue Service. Most students assume that because a scholarship is a gift for education, it is entirely tax-free. However, historical trends in tax law clarify a very specific distinction that can have a significant impact on your final balance. According to the IRS website, specifically Publication 970, which covers tax benefits for education, scholarship funds are only tax-exempt if they are used for qualified education expenses. This includes tuition, fees, books, and equipment required for your courses. The trap lies in the non-qualified expenses. Imagine a student named Tyler from Pennsylvania, who wins a prestigious $20,000 scholarship that covers his housing and meal plan. Because room and board are not considered qualified education expenses by the IRS, that $20,000 is technically viewed as taxable income. If Tyler does not account for this, he could face an unexpected tax bill of several $1,000s come April. To manage this, the first website you must master after winning is the IRS Interactive Tax Assistant. This tool allows you to input the specific details of your scholarship and your spending to determine exactly how much of your award is taxable. Step by step, you should track every receipt for textbooks and required supplies. In 2026, digital receipts from online campus bookstores are your best defense during a tax audit. By keeping a dedicated folder in your email or a cloud-based drive for these qualified expenses, you can effectively reduce your taxable liability by proving exactly how much of the money went toward required academic materials. Beyond the tax implications, we must address the sophisticated world of financial aid negotiation, often referred to by universities as a professional judgment review. Imagine if, after you have been awarded your financial aid package, your family's financial situation changes, Perhaps a parent loses a job, or there is an unexpected medical expense. Or perhaps you have received a better offer from a peer institution. This is where you use the website SwiftStudent. This platform is a free digital resource that helps students draft financial aid appeal letters. It provides templates for various scenarios, ensuring that your request is professional, data-driven, and follows the specific formatting that financial aid officers expect to see. The case study of a student named Jasmine illustrates this perfectly. Jasmine was accepted to her dream school, but the out-of-pocket cost was still $8,000 higher than her family could afford. She used SwiftStudent to draft an appeal based on a competing offer from another university of similar ranking. By providing a clear, respectful comparison of the two aid packages, she was able to negotiate an additional $6,000 in institutional grant money. The step-by-step detail here is crucial. You must never use the word negotiate when speaking with a financial aid office. Instead, use terms like reevaluation of need or professional judgment. Historical trends show that schools are more likely to find extra funds for students who demonstrate a genuine gap in affordability, rather than those who simply demand more money. Another critical digital tool for the 2026 scholarship winner is the National Student Loan Data System, or NSLDS. Even if you have won enough scholarships to cover your tuition, you may still have small underlying loans from previous semesters. The NSLDS website is the central database for all federal student aid. By logging in regularly, you can ensure that your scholarship providers are sending funds to the right place, and that your loan balances are reflecting those payments accurately. This is part of a broader strategy of financial transparency. You should also be checking your university's bursar website weekly during the first month of the semester. Errors in scholarship disbursement are more common than people realize, often due to simple clerical mistakes in the financial aid office. If a scholarship check is sitting in a processing queue while your tuition deadline passes, you could be hit with late fees that your scholarship won't cover. We also have to discuss the concept of the scholarship refund. Sometimes, a student wins more money than the total cost of tuition. In these cases, the university may issue a refund check to the student. While it is tempting to see this as spending money, a professional scholarship hunter treats this as an investment. Imagine if Tyler from our previous example took his $3,000 refund check and put it into a high-yield savings account or a $529 college savings plan. In 2026, these accounts can offer significant interest rates, allowing the scholarship money to grow while Tyler finishes his degree. The website Bankrate is a vital resource here for comparing the best interest rates for student-friendly savings accounts. By moving your refund into an account that earns 5% interest, you are effectively creating a secondary stream of passive funding for your future graduate school applications or relocation costs after graduation. There is also the matter of the multi-year scholarship. Many students win a one-year award and forget that they must reapply or maintain a certain GPA to keep it for the second, third, and fourth years. You must use the scholarship provider's portal to set maintenance alerts. For instance, if you have a scholarship that requires a 3.0 cumulative GPA, you should use a GPA calculator website to model your potential outcomes at the end of each semester. If you see that a difficult physics grade might pull you below the threshold, you can proactively reach out to the Scholarship Foundation. Historical data suggests that foundations are much more likely to grant a probationary semester to a student who communicates their challenges early than to a student who simply fails to meet the requirement without explanation. Now, imagine if you could automate the entire tracking process of your winnings, taxes, and deadlines. A student in 2026 who manages 5 or 6 different scholarships is essentially running a small business. You can use simple project management tools like Trello or Notion to build a scholarship management dashboard. In this dashboard, you should have columns for award name, total value, taxable status, renewal requirements, and contact person. This level of organization ensures that you never miss a renewal deadline and that you have all your documentation ready for your tax preparer at the end of the year. The goal of this part of the masterclass has been to move you from the excitement of winning to the discipline of managing. We have looked at the IRS requirements, the art of the financial aid appeal, and the technical tools for tracking your funds. But even with the best management, there is one final piece of the puzzle that most students miss. It is the end game of the scholarship search, the transition from college funding to career funding. Do you know which websites allow you to find scholarships for your first year of professional life? Do you know about the employer-based debt forgiveness portals that can wipe out any remaining loans you couldn't cover with scholarships? In Part 9, we are going to look at the postgraduate pivot. We will discuss how to use your scholarship history to win fellowships, research grants, and even have your future employer pay off your undergraduate debt. We are entering the final stages of your financial journey. The masterclass continues in the next segment. The pivot from undergraduate funding to professional financial stability is a transition that most students fail to prepare for until their final semester. By then, the most lucrative opportunities have often already passed. In 2026, the concept of a scholarship has evolved beyond just paying for tuition. It has become a credential that signals your value to future employers and graduate schools. To capitalize on this, you must begin exploring the world of fellowships and postgraduate grants while you are still a sophomore or junior. The premier website for this transition is the ProFellow database. ProFellow is a specialized search engine that tracks over 12,000 fellowship opportunities globally. Unlike undergraduate scholarships, which are often based on financial need or high school grades, fellowships are professional development grants that pay you to conduct research, work in a specific industry, or study abroad. Imagine a student named Marcus from the University of Michigan, who is entering his senior year in 2026. Marcus has a strong interest in international relations, but is worried about the cost of a master's degree. Instead of looking for more undergraduate aid, Marcus uses ProFellow to find the Pickering Foreign Affairs Fellowship. This specific program provides up to $42,000 annually for a 2-year master's degree, covers all tuition and fees, and provides a stipend for 2 summer internships at the U.S. Department of State. The historical trends for Pickering Fellows show a near-total success rate in entering the U.S. Foreign Service upon completion of the program. This is not just a scholarship. It is a career-launching financial engine. The step-by-step process for using ProFellow involves creating a free account and setting your filters to current undergraduate and postgraduate. You should specifically look for fellowships that offer debt forgiveness or tuition assistance as part of their package. For Marcus, the data-driven decision was to apply for fellowships that provided a direct pipeline into a high-paying career, effectively neutralizing any remaining debt from his first 3 years of college. Case studies of ProFellow users indicate that students who secure even one minor fellowship in their junior year increase their probability of winning a major national award, like the Fulbright or the Rhodes, by over 50%. But what if you decide to go straight into the workforce after graduation? This is where the website Student Loan Hero becomes an essential part of your scholarship strategy. In 2026, over 60% of major U.S. corporations, including firms like Google, Deloitte, and PwC, offer some form of student loan repayment assistance as a standard employee benefit. Student Loan Hero maintains a live, updated database of companies that will pay off your undergraduate debt as you work for them. This is the ultimate delayed scholarship. Imagine a student named Maya who graduated with $15,000 in federal loans. Maya uses the Student Loan Hero database to target employers who offer $500 a month toward loan repayment. In less than 3 years, Maya's employer has effectively paid off her entire college debt, making her undergraduate education retroactively free. The technical requirement here is to integrate this search into your job hunt. Step 1. Identify your industry. Step 2. Filter the Student Loan Hero database for companies in that industry. Step 3. Verify the benefit on the company's own careers page or through the Glassdoor benefits section. Historical data suggests that these benefits are often negotiable, much like a starting salary. If you have 2 job offers, you can use the data from Student Loan Hero to ask Company A to match the loan repayment assistance offered by Company B. This is high-level financial maneuvering that turns your professional career into a continuation of your scholarship hunt. We also have to discuss the Public Service Loan Forgiveness, or PSLF portal. While technically a government program, the website studentaid.gov/PSLF has become a sophisticated tool in 2026 for students entering the nonprofit or government sectors. If you work for a qualifying employer, which includes schools, hospitals, and government agencies, and make 120 qualifying payments, the federal government wipes out your remaining balance. The critical data point here is the PSLF Help tool. This website allows you to upload your employer's tax ID to see if they qualify before you even accept the job. In 2026, the rules around PSLF have been streamlined, and case studies show that thousands of young professionals are seeing their balances hit zero after 10 years of service. If you are a teacher or a nurse, this website is more valuable than any scholarship database because it addresses the back end of your college costs. Now, let's look at the specialized world of research grants for undergraduates. If you are a STEM student, the website of the National Science Foundation, or NSF, is your primary target. The NSF Research Experiences for Undergraduates, or RU program, pays you a stipend, often around $6,000, plus housing and travel to conduct research during the summer at a different university. This is effectively a scholarship for your summer break. For a student named David, an RU at Georgia Tech not only paid for his summer expenses, but also gave him the research credentials to win a $20,000 graduate scholarship later. The step-by-step detail for the NSF RU site involves searching for active sites in your field of study. Each site has its own application portal, but most require a resume and a statement of interest. Data shows that these programs are highly competitive, but have a massive impact on your graduate school admissions and your ability to secure high-level merit aid in the future. Furthermore, we must address the employer-sponsored degree portals. Companies like Starbucks with their Achievement Plan through Arizona State University or Walmart's Live Better U program allow employees to earn a degree for nearly zero out-of-pocket cost. In 2026, these programs have expanded to include hundreds of different majors. The website for Guild Education manages many of these corporate partnerships. If you are a student working part-time, checking the Guild Education site can reveal if your current employer has a hidden full tuition benefit that you aren't using. Imagine if you could quit searching for private scholarships because your employer is already paying your university directly. This is the ultimate efficiency in college funding. The complexity of these postgraduate and employer-based tools might feel like they are too far away if you are a freshman or a high school senior. But the 2026 collegiate economy rewards those who look 3 steps ahead. You have moved from finding websites for local grants to mastering the portals that will pay off your debt before you even turn 30. You have learned how to use your current scholarship wins as social proof to win even larger fellowships. You are no longer a passive recipient of aid. You are an active architect of your own financial freedom. However, even with all these websites and all this data, there is one final skill that separates the top 1% of scholarship hunters from everyone else. It is the consistency engine. Most people watch this video, take a few notes, and then stop after 3 weeks. But there is a specific way to build a system of submission that ensures you are applying to at least one high-probability award every single week without getting burned out. Do you know the rule of 100 in scholarship applications? Do you know the specific digital calendar hack that ensures you never miss a recurring deadline for 4 years straight? In the final part of this masterclass, we are going to build your forever system. I will show you how to automate your search so that the scholarships come to you, and I will reveal the hidden harvest, the secret timing for applications that only happens in the summer months. We are heading into the home stretch. This is how you win the game of college funding for good. The masterclass concludes in the final segment. The transition from a casual scholarship seeker to a professional scholarship hunter concludes with the realization that the process is a marathon, not a sprint. In 2026, the most successful students are those who have shifted their mindset from a seasonal effort to a year-round system. This brings us to a phenomenon known as the hidden harvest. Most students believe that the scholarship season begins in October and ends in May. Consequently, as the weather warms up and summer vacation begins, the number of active applicants on major databases drops by nearly 65%. This creates a massive, data-driven window of opportunity for the dedicated student. While your peers are taking a break, organizations like Niche, Do Something, and the various community foundations we have discussed continue to offer monthly and seasonal awards with significantly lower competition. Imagine a student named Taylor from Miami, who is entering her junior year in the summer of 2026. While the average student has stopped searching, Taylor identifies 3 summer-specific portals. First, she focuses on the DoSomething.org campaigns. These are unique because they combine social impact with financial aid. In 2026, Do Something remains a powerhouse for easy-to-apply scholarships that require you to complete a community service task, such as a clothing drive or a digital safety campaign, and upload a photo as proof. Because these require a physical action rather than a 3,000-word essay, many students skip them. However, the historical trends show that the action-to-award ratio is incredibly favorable during the months of June and July. Taylor also masters the monthly microscholarship cycle. Websites like Niche and Appley offer $2,000 awards that reset every 30 days. The professional secret here is not just applying once, but using the duplicate and refined strategy. Since these sites save your profile data, the marginal cost of applying each month is nearly zero. In the 2026 landscape, Taylor treats these like a monthly subscription to her future. By setting a recurring calendar alert for the 28th of every month, she ensures her name is in the drawing when the applicant pool is at its seasonal low. The data suggests that students who apply to these monthly drawings at least 10 times a year have a significantly higher mathematical probability of a potential outcome than those who apply once and give up. To manage this volume, you must implement what professional consultants call the Rule of 100. This is a statistical framework used by the top 1% of scholarship winners in the United States. The rule states that you should aim to submit 100 high-quality applications over the course of your academic career. If this sounds overwhelming, consider the scholarship funnel data. If you have a 5% win rate, which is standard for well-optimized applications, submitting 100 applications yields 5 wins. If each win averages $3,000, you have secured $15,000 for your education. The technical execution of the Rule of 100 requires a scholarship CRM or customer relationship management system. In 2026, the most effective way to do this is by using Notion or a specialized Trello board. Step by step, you should create a database with the following fields: deadline, award amount, effort level, and status. You then categorize your scholarships into 3 tiers. Tier 1 are the heavy hitters like the Gates or Coca-Cola scholarships that require weeks of work. Tier 2 are the regional niche awards from local businesses. Tier 3 are the quick submissions like the niche monthly drawings. A balanced system involves pursuing 2 Tier 1s a year, 10 Tier 2s a semester, and 2 Tier 3s every month. This keeps the momentum high without leading to the search fatigue we discussed at the beginning of this masterclass. Furthermore, we must address the summer bridge and specialty program websites. In 2026, many universities have launched specific funding portals for students who attend summer enrichment programs. For example, if you are a high school student attending a summer journalism workshop at a university, that university often has an internal scholarship specifically for attendees of that program. These are rarely listed on national databases. You must go directly to the university's pre-college programs website. Case studies of students who leverage these bridge grants show that they often receive automatic merit aid upon full admission because the university already views them as a vetted, high-interest candidate. Now, imagine if you could automate the search process so that you are notified of new awards before they even hit the main directories. This is where the Google dorking technique, a professional research method, comes into play. By using advanced search parameters like file type, PDF Scholarship 2026, or inaugural Scholarship Deadline 2026, you can find application forms that have been uploaded to school district servers but haven't been indexed by the big search engines yet. This allows you to find the paper-only scholarships that still exist in many rural U.S. counties. These awards often have the lowest competition in the country because they require you to actually print a form and mail it with a physical stamp. In a digital-first era, the physical mail-in application is a high-leverage move. As we conclude this deep dive, consider the long-term impact of the work you are about to do. We began this journey by discussing the $37,000 average debt load of the American student. By mastering these websites, from the legacy giants like FastWeb to the elite portals like QuestBridge, and the technical optimization tools like ResumeWorded, you are opting out of that debt-heavy narrative. You are choosing to treat your education like the investment it is. In 2026, the information is no longer hidden. It is just distributed. The barrier to entry is no longer knowing where the money is, but having the discipline to use the tools we have uncovered today. Every hour you spend on these sites is a direct deposit into your future self's bank account. Think about the student we mentioned earlier, Jordan, who used the cello and environmental science filters to find a niche grant. Or Carlos, who used QuestBridge to turn a low-income background into an Ivy League education. These are not anomalies. They are the result of a systematic, data-driven approach to the digital landscape. The masterclass is over, but your journey is just beginning. Your next step is to choose 3 websites from Part 2, create your profiles today, and set your first hidden harvest alert for the upcoming month. The money is there. The databases are updated every single hour. The only variable left in the equation is your willingness to hit the submit button. You have the roadmap, the technical shortcuts, and the historical data to back you up. It is time to go out there and claim the funding that has been waiting for you. The 2026 to 2027 academic year is your window. Don't let it close without your name on the recipient list. Your professional, debt-free future is one application away.